Greetings, everybody. Jenny come to talk the truth. And sometimes when you tell the truth or talk the truth, it's offensive, but it changes nothing. The truth is the truth. Okay? Now, where do I begin? Let me start with a story. Yes, consider this a story time. And then this story will help to tie in the main point that I'm trying to make in this video. I went to Jamaica, decided that I wanted to give my children some Jamaican experience. So that meant they were going to attend school in Jamaica for a short period of time. When I got there, certain opportunities came up for myself as well. And so I was working with it. And in another story, I'll get into more details on that. But that meant that I had to go and purchase uniforms for my children. And I had to register them to go to school. And I think it was a good break for these kids, not just to learn about their parents' culture and heritage and all that, but to ground them as African women or young ladies at the time, or children even, because they were 10 and 15, almost 16. So I decided to let my 10-year-old daughter go to school with a relative, not distant relative, a very close relative, her aunt. See, her aunt taught at this elementary school, or in Jamaica we call it primary school. And so she brought me to this lady to make the uniforms. Well, people, this woman must have spitefully brought me to this place, because when my teenager got her uniform, she looked like somebody that was 9 months pregnant. The person made, I don't know if it was a cobbler or a shoes maker that made the uniform, but let me tell you, the waist was under her breast. It was the worst thing ever. I had to go to another teacher at the high school that I was associated to and get her to do a last minute uniform. I could not let my child wear that. But that wasn't a red flag. I just thought, well, the lady's just not a good seamstress, and she was bringing me to somebody that she knew made uniforms. But I later found out that she knows this woman cannot sew, because she told me horror stories after the fact. Anyway, so I entrusted this girl, or this woman, because she's older than me, this woman with my 10-year-old to go to school. First day of school, keep in mind this woman, she is a teacher and she never has money. Always coming to me to borrow money to pay her bus fare or taxi fare or whatever. Meanwhile, she was doing this, she was giving me misinformation, allowing me to walk almost half a mile just to get transportation to go where I needed to go, because she said that there was no cabs in my community, which was a big lie. And I'll add more to this. The girl had me walking. By the time I get to where I get my taxi, my shoes would be so muddy, my pants would be all messy. Even though I was born in Jamaica, I was away for 18 years. So I just didn't know how to handle myself in all of this. It took a stranger to call me aside and say, I know you're struggling. You know, when you're coming from out of your yard, take off your dressing shoes and wear you'll say common sense, Jenny, you should know this, but I didn't. She said, take off your dressing shoes, wear old slippers, and then when you get to the road where there's no mud, you put on your shoes. It was so stressful for me, but I needed a break. I needed to, do this. I need to see this. I need to teach my kids something, not a lesson, but just, introduce them to something different, help to build their character. So the agreement was for the 10-year-old to go to school at the same school where this family member teaches. First day she goes to school, she comes home, she doesn't really say anything to me. But the next morning, when she got ready for school, I gave her aunt the money. At the time, it was like $1,000. Now that I think about it, it probably wasn't, because this woman is a liar and very dishonest. Anyway, I gave my daughter $1,000, and I heard that that was enough for her taxi fare to go to school, sorry, and get her lunch. When she came back home the second day, she told me, Mom, I didn't have any lunch today. I was sitting outside and I was crying, and these kids came and got me and took me on the road to show me where I could get something to eat. Keep in mind, the girl or the woman that is supposed to be responsible for my child abandoned her. She comes to me the third morning and she says that my daughter was crying outside. And I said, why was she crying outside? Why wasn't she with you? She said to me, oh, the teachers at my school said it's abuse to take my daughter from this wonderful country and to bring her to Jamaica. I said, what? What kind of people are these? Like, how can Jamaican people be saying that about another Jamaican who bring her kid to Jamaica to get these experiences? Well, I said, well, she can't go back to that school because now you have a bunch of, people suffering from Stockholm syndrome. I just can't have my children around these animals. And I was referring to the teachers and animals because the woman said that the teachers at her school said that it was tantamount to abuse to have the child come to attend school there. When I questioned my 10-year-old, that's how I found out that the first day, when her class was finished, she went outside and that lady never came to get her to see that she was okay, to make sure she had something to eat. She had her money. And every school in Jamaica, they sell lunch in the canteen. Or if they don't have that, they have people who sell, they have tuck shops, or they have people who sell outside. The woman abandoned my 10-year-old baby. And at the time, to be honest with you, my kids were very sheltered. So my 10-year-old did not know how to function on her own at all, because I would pack her lunches. And when you drop her off at daycare, bring her to school. She, at that age, was still going to daycare because I extended daycare until they were old enough. Or the daycare said, they're too old now, because I believe in protecting my children. So when I heard that she ignored her the first day, and the second day she was outside crying because she didn't know what to do, she didn't understand the kids because they speak full patois. And although I'm Jamaican, to be honest with you, I didn't really teach my kids patois. They didn't understand it. The only time they hear patois was when they went to Jamaica. So hearing all these kids speaking patois, she had no clue. And there's another backstory about, them forcing her to pray at a different school. And when they said, clasp your hands and close your eyes, and she didn't know what that was, that germs took a ruler and slapped her. Hey, listen, let's stop romanticizing Jamaica. Okay, the place is beautiful and paradise. The people are evil, a lot. Listen, we got our nice, good, clean Jamaican people in the diaspora in Jamaica as well. I hate that I have to make this disclaimer, but there's a huge percentage of some demons climbing in that place. All right? The woman abandoned my child and left her for children her age to take her on the road. Anything could have happened to my child. Let's get back to Daniel. Now we hear the story that, the teacher said that somebody came and peeked in and saw the little girl and took her. And people are going to chastise that teacher. Una, stop it. Una is some big, listen to me, man, some drama roach when you come with this hypocrisy. Because first of all, Jamaican schools have not regarded the safety of children. I have never seen no teacher out on the schoolyard watching the kids while they play. They are very careless with their children. You could be in a taxi, come in and see some little baby walking outside in pure, you know what I mean. No clothing below the waist. And when you say, who's that baby? Where's that baby coming from? People just laugh. Oh, the baby belongs to so and so and so. The only good thing, the taxi drivers look out for these children. You could be going through a community at night and see some kid 1 year old crying, sucking their finger in the middle of the night, wandering around and no parents in sight. What is wrong with these people? Who are they trying to fool? So it's no strange thing that anybody who's into collecting children to go for their nasty thing, the case that I tell you guys about, or, the little rotundo, anybody they know that Jamaica is a free paradise to be able to carry this off. and your friends and your family and your loved ones are the ones who are getting paid to do these things. Look very close to at the friends and the family when these children, find themselves missing. The wicked woman is a mother of 2 children. Sometimes I wonder if people don't think karma take you and your children when you do these evil things. So the fact that this child goes missing and then they're pussyfooting around the story and showing you a picture of some fake person and leading you astray. Listen, stop falling for these things. Okay, a lot of these people are involved. The school involved, families involved, politicians involved. You name it. There's money involved. And there is definitely a need for 13, anywhere between 8 and 16-year-old kids in Jamaica. Do you hear me? This was not some distant cousin. This was not someone who lived next, into a next community. This was blood. Took my child, my Canadian baby that didn't even know how, when I show them the bad pan that you bathe in, they call it a bucket. They gain culture. And they're better off right now. But we remember 2 days, so I stopped her from taking my child to school, let her stay home for a week and registered to her in a school that was closer to where I was going to be. Let me tell you, when you have friends and family like this, you don't need enemies. These are the dangerous ones. Oh, I'm never going to stop telling my story. Who don't like it? Come touch a button. These people must be exposed. So a lot of us know within our family we have some very wicked people and a lot of wicked women. Stop making it seem like only men are committing these kind of crimes in Jamaica. Women are very much up front and center and always the driving force behind this. Okay? Look close at family. Look close at friends. Look close at the entire society. The woman abandoned my child. And strangers, now she twisted the teacher's words because what they were saying is, well, if that's how she's going to be coming here and be by herself, she doesn't understand the culture, she doesn't speak the language, and left abandoned like that. That's what they told the wicked woman, and she came back because she didn't want to do it anymore. She told me that they said that. Anyway, I'm going to pause. Listen, if you're listening to this and you're a family member, listen, you know who I'm talking and you know the truth. And to the young people in my family who wonder why I don't talk to them, I don't deal with them, I'm sorry I didn't get to know some of you guys, you younger ones, the nieces and the nephews and stuff, because I never have any issues with my nieces and my nephews. I love them no matter what. But I had to stay away from your bad breed, ill, wicked family members. Some of them are your parents. There was, the son, the 2 sons of this wicked woman. I love them to this day. But I don't really deal with any of them because of their mama. Yeah. So when you see these kids going through these things, sometimes your own relatives wicked. Okay? Because this lady did this to me and I was kind to her. And, even at that time, I was feeling so much empathy for this girl or this woman. And that's what she did to my kid. Take my kid to her school, leave her, abandon her. Said, as a human being, how would you do a thing like this? You go sit and eat your food and leave a 10-year-old sitting outside crying until strangers had to say that this is abuse. But she twisted the story and told me. But when she said that to me, I believed that the teacher said that. And I was like, I don't want to be around these kind of people. You're Jamaican. We all grew up here. So why would it be such a horrible thing for my child to come here and experience culture? But I found out later on she was just lying. She just didn't want to do it. And it was a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you. Hey, watch these people. Oh, be careful when you're sending your children to Jamaica, who you're letting them hang out with, because some of them will take money to harm your loved ones. As they would say in Jamaica, me to tell you. Oh, so those of you who think I'm bitter and just talk about these things, I'm never going to stop talking about it because people need to learn. They need to hear the story and I need to hear. Okay? And the young ones need to know your mama is very evil.